You're 27, but your body feels 45. You sit at brunch with friends your age, and while they're planning spontaneous road trips and talking about figuring things out, you feel a strange, ancient heaviness in your chest, like you've already lived through the chaos they're still romanticizing. Your shoulders are tight. There's a specific sensation you've learned to recognize, a kind of inner exhaustion that has nothing to do with how much sleep you got. It's deeper, cellular, like your nervous system aged in dog years while everyone else got to be young. You smile and nod, but internally you're already thinking about going home, putting on comfortable clothes, and sitting in silence. Not because you're tired, because you feel old, and you're not even 30 yet. If this is you, I need you to know something before we go any further. You are not broken. What you're experiencing, this sense of premature aging, this bone-deep weariness that doesn't match your birth certificate, is not a character flaw. It's not laziness. It's not you giving up on life. It's an intelligent adaptation your nervous system made to survive an environment that asked you to grow up too fast. Somewhere along the way, you became the adult in the room before you were ready, and your body kept score. Here's the paradox. The moment you most need to feel light, playful, and spontaneous, those moments when life is supposed to feel exciting, your system defaults to caution, hypervigilance, and a kind of emotional conservatism that feels decades beyond your years. You became old because being young wasn't safe. And now, even when the danger has passed, your body doesn't know how to unage itself. This is what we're going to unpack. Not to pathologize you, but to help you understand the brilliant, tragic logic of how you got here. There are two distinct types of feeling older than your age, and it's critical to know which one you're living in. Type 1. The hyper-responsible old soul. You became the emotional adult early. You parented your parents, managed crises, and learned that your needs came last. You feel old because you never got to be young. Type 2. The prematurely disillusioned. You experienced betrayal, loss, or profound disappointment before your nervous system was ready. You skipped adolescence and went straight to existential exhaustion. You feel old because you learned too early that the world isn't safe. Here's a self-assessment. Do you relate to 5 or more of these? You struggle to be spontaneous. Every decision feels like it needs a risk assessment. You feel more comfortable around people significantly older than you. Your friends describe you as wise or an old soul, but it doesn't feel like a compliment. You have a low tolerance for immaturity or drama in your peer group. You feel exhausted by activities others your age find energizing. Parties, loud music, crowds. You've been told you worry too much or think too much. You feel a strange grief when you see carefree young people, like you're mourning something you never had. You have physical symptoms that seem too advanced for your age. Chronic pain, digestive issues, persistent fatigue. You feel guilty when you try to do something fun or frivolous. You often think, I'm too tired for this life. If you relate to 5 or more, your nervous system is likely trapped in a state of premature maturation, a biological aging process triggered by chronic stress exposure during critical developmental windows. Here's what's happening in your brain. Your amygdala, the almond-shaped structure responsible for threat detection, developed in an environment of instability. Maybe it was financial stress, parental conflict, emotional neglect, or chronic unpredictability. Whatever the source, your amygdala learned to stay online 24/7. It learned that letting your guard down was dangerous. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for play, imagination, risk-taking, and joy, was chronically suppressed. Because when your amygdala is screaming, danger, your prefrontal cortex goes offline. The brain can't be playful and vigilant at the same time. Over years, this created a neurological pattern. Your default state became caution instead of curiosity. Your nervous system learned to operate outside what's called the window of tolerance, that optimal zone where you feel both calm and engaged. Instead, you lived in a state of hypervigilance, constantly scanning for threats or hypoarousal, emotionally numb, disconnected, exhausted. And here's the chemical signature. Chronic cortisol and adrenaline exposure quite literally ages your body. Elevated cortisol shrinks the hippocampus, accelerates cellular aging through telomere shortening, and creates inflammation throughout your system. Your body was flooded with stress hormones during the years when your brain was supposed to be soaking in dopamine and oxytocin. You didn't feel older than your age because you were mature. You felt older because your stress response system was working overtime, and that work leaves biological scars. Let me introduce you to a concept: parentification. Parentification is what happens when a child is forced to become the emotional or practical caretaker for their parent or household. Maybe your parent struggled with mental illness, addiction, or simply wasn't emotionally available. Maybe you were the one who mediated their fights, managed their emotions, or kept the family functioning. You didn't get to be a child. You became a tiny adult. And here's what your nervous system learned. Being young is dangerous. Being carefree is irresponsible. The only way to survive is to stay in control. This often creates what attachment researchers call dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant attachment styles. You learned that depending on others was unsafe, so you became hyper self-reliant. You learned that your needs were a burden, so you stopped having them. Or at least, you stopped expressing them. There's also a phenomenon called learned helplessness. But in your case, it's the inverse. You learned compulsory capability. You learned that if you didn't handle it, no one would. And so you handled everything until your body started keeping score. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. But you changed yourself too early. You adapted to an environment that required you to be small, quiet, responsible, and emotionally self-sufficient. And now, even though that environment is gone, the adaptation remains. You're not old, you're braced, and your body doesn't know the danger has passed. Here's the truth. You can't think your way out of this. You can't decide to feel young again, but you can slowly, gently retrain your nervous system to remember what safety feels like. Level 1. Micro movements. The 1% protocol. Start with 30 seconds. That's it. Orienting. Look around the room slowly. Name 5 things you can see. This signals to your amygdala, I am here, I am safe, there is no immediate threat. Grounding. Press your feet into the floor. Feel the pressure. Feel your body being supported by the ground beneath you. Playful breath. Instead of deep breathing, which can feel activating, try humming or sighing. Make a sound. Let your body remember it can express. Level 2. Specific scripts. What to say when you feel too old. You need language for this. Here are exact sentences. To a friend. I'm feeling really activated right now. I need to step outside for a minute, but I'm not upset with you. To yourself. I'm not old. I'm protective. And that protection made sense once. When guilt arises, I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to not have all the answers. When you feel the urge to handle everything, what would happen if I didn't? Can I tolerate not being the capable one, just for an hour? Level 3. Long-term integration. Armor into agency. The goal isn't to erase your maturity, it's to give you choice. Experiment with smallness. Do something pointless. Color. Dance in your kitchen. Watch a silly movie. Let your prefrontal cortex come back online. Seek out secure attachment repair. Find a therapist trained in somatic or attachment work. You need someone who can help you renegotiate the contracts you made in childhood. Practice titrated vulnerability. You don't have to overshare, but try expressing one small need per week. I'm tired. Can we reschedule? That's enough. Here's a metaphor I want you to hold. Beneath the ocean's surface, where the waves crash and the storms rage, there is a place of complete stillness. The water there doesn't age. It doesn't rush. It simply exists. You've been living in the storm for so long that you forgot there's a still place inside you. A place that was never touched by the chaos. A place that's still young, still curious, still soft. Feeling older than your age isn't a life sentence. It's a signal. Your body is telling you, I've been working so hard to keep you safe. Can we rest now? And the answer can be yes. If this resonated, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's your old soul signal? What do you feel in your body when that ancient tiredness takes over? Sharing your experience might help someone else feel less alone. You don't have to do this alone. Thank you for watching.